Every time you get a chance to witness this scene, you feel lucky. Nothing like it.
Man, this is what it's all about. This is what college football is all about. I've said this is the best scene in the country.
I love and appreciate you guys. Understand this. We didn't get here without every single person in this room. We got here together. Let's finish this thing together. Everybody got me? Let's go do this thing.
Welcome back to Whiteout Weekly, and after 1 week off, we have officially found a defensive coordinator. Early signing day took place, and we have the bowl schedule all laid out for us. But most importantly, if you could take your attention to my right, the Big Ten betting bonanza dumbbell is in my possession after I edged out Dave 28-26 in points. It was a glorious victory. He had hope with that Roman Wilson touchdown that got him back into it. If he had, who's your other pick for a touchdown?
It was Charlie Wilson for Iowa.
Bummer. I mean, we called that game to a T. We were like, Michigan's blowing them out. Not even going to be close. But if he scored, you would have tied it up. And we've had to have some kind of, I don't know, wrestling tiebreaker or something. But let's get into the big news. After tons of speculation of who it could be, former Miami head coach Manny Diaz is officially Penn State's new defensive coordinator, announced this past Saturday. And personally, I'm pumped about this decision. This guy brings 24 years of coaching experience to Penn State. Dave, how do you feel about this hire?
It took a little bit of time to sink in, but I am more excited than I thought I would be. I think a lot of my focus, and I know yours was too, on Elijah Robinson, Texas A&M. That was the household name, had the Penn State ties, obviously playing for Penn State. Jim Knowles was another one that was in there, found out a little beforehand that he was going to Ohio State, but wasn't expecting this one.
Fucker came out of nowhere.
His name started to circle in through the rumors late, and then it just kind of took full swing. But Franklin had said that he wanted to bring in someone who could be a head coach of the defense. You could look at what his head coaching record was at Miami. Wasn't great. It was much better off as the D coordinator. But I think that's exactly what you're getting here. And I don't think it's a huge drop off from Brent Pry, which will be good.
Yeah.
And I think for the recruits or the incoming 2022 class, the guys who are there, which we'll get into, I think you could see a little bit or a lot rather of excitement for guys to get ready to get to work for him. He's going to bring an aggressive style, tenacious style, getting after the quarterback, maybe a little bit more so than Brent Pry. His defense is really keys in on having some key cogs at the edge rusher spot and at the linebacker position. But I'm excited, man. I don't know that this is a long-term solution. I think he may be looking at 2-3 years here, and then he
go for a head coaching job somewhere else.
And then looks to get another shot at head coach. But I think for now, I think this is what you need. With the way this class is shaping up, I think they're gearing up for hopefully Big Ten title run, college football playoff run, and I think he's a good fit.
Yeah, going back to what you said about him as a defensive coordinator versus a head coach. When he first got to Miami, it was 2016. And that was his first year as their DC. They were the 20th ranked total defense in all of college football, 8th fewest defensive touchdowns allowed that year in the country, 12th scoring defense in the country, and 5th most tackles for loss. So that goes to what you were just saying, that he preaches about getting after it, getting to the quarterback. His next year, he made maybe the most impactful achievement of his coaching career with the creation of the turnover chain, which was at the time revolutionary. Absolutely love that. That Miami defense led college football with the most sacks by any team. and was third in the nation for tackles for loss and ninth in yards per play. So again, his guys on the defensive line get after it. Then last season, as a defense coordinator for Miami in 2018, was his coup de grace. They were the number 4 total defense in the nation, number 1 in the following categories. I think there's 4 of them. Number 1 in tackles for loss, number 1 in the lowest third down conversion rate, and the lowest passing yards allowed in all of college football in his last year as defense coordinator. Then he was promoted to head coach, and I think he finished with like a 15-12 record over 2 years, something like that, like right around 500. But again, after that slow start to the season, it was kind of game's over for him as a head coach. And I think he looked at his past and was like, I think I fit better as a defense coordinator, kind of build my resume back up before I enter the head coaching realm again.
Yeah, and I think the other thing to look at here too is obviously you get a proven defensive coordinator who has a resume built, but I think from a recruiting standpoint as well, is he brings in potentially some of those pipelines that he had built from his time at Miami down in Florida. You got a few kids coming in this 2022 class who are from Florida. Granted, I'm not saying he's going to go down there and be nabbing every 5-star recruit that's coming from Sunshine State, but I think if he's the difference that can land you an additional 1 or 2 guys each year, steal them away from a Florida State, from a Miami, from a Florida, or any of those Southern schools, and give them a reason or an ear to listen of why to come up north to Happy Valley.
Exactly.
I think that's a huge win.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of recruits, early signing day was today. And we are going to be right back with our very special guest of the program, Reed Kellum, to give his thoughts on some of the prospects in just a bit. Just a bit's like a flash of a second. So unfortunately, special guest and friend of the show, Reed Kellum, could not make it to talk about early signing day and the recruits. And Dave, you are way more in the know than me regarding the whole recruiting cycle and who's coming in to Penn State. So I want to hear about a few of your favorite recruits that came to Penn State on early signing day today.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot to be excited about with this class, and I know for a lot of folks it's just another recruiting cycle. It's going to be the same old. But I think seriously, this class has a chance to be program changing, and you can
It's a big claim. That's a big claim.
It's a big claim. You can sense it with guys saying the right things and just the camaraderie among the recruits. This recruiting class was built back in, say, June, July, when a lot of these guys committed. So today was just kind of a culmination and making it official, putting pen to paper. But when you look at the collection of talent that they brought in, mainly at the skill positions, is really what you got to write home about. Obviously, the headliner is going to be Drew Aller.
Our boy.
Our boy, he's number 1 quarterback in the country. So this is Franklin's biggest get. He's always had the label of big time recruiter. This is Franklin's biggest get.
And he started recruiting him as a 3-star, right?
Yeah, back his junior year, 3-star, really off everyone's radar. And then this year with his senior season, threw for almost 4,500 yards, 48 touchdowns, close to a 70% completion percentage. Had a game that was on national TV on ESPN where he threw for 4 touchdowns, over 300 yards. So he's the real deal, and he's got that it factor. And we had the news break last week as well that Sean Clifford's coming back for his 6th year, which, take it how you want. Got his jersey on. So,
yeah, I mean,
whatever.
As much, I mean, this kid seems like the real deal. I'm just never comfortable throwing in a 19-year-old kid, especially with the line that we have right now. Like if we were in Alabama and Ohio State, where it was just a staple of NFL offensive linemen all the time, sure, throw that kid behind him, he'll be protected. but with the leaks in the O-line, I don't want to risk just throwing him out there and having him scrambling for his life and possibly getting injured as a true freshman. So
Right.
I kind of like that Clifford's back to kind of wedge that gap. And if Clifford sucks, we got plenty of options behind him.
Yeah, and that's what Clifford's going to bring. Granted, however you may feel about him, he had a fairly productive year, just shy of 3,000 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks.
And you can tell that injury, I think, bothered him for the full season. As much as he wanted to say he was 100%, I think that really did either mentally or physically bothered him for that stretch run.
For sure. But I mean, the plus side with Aller that he's going to be enrolling in January. So he'll be eligible for spring drills, for spring ball, can play in the blue-white game. You got all summer off-season workouts, and you got fall camp. So he's got a long runway for this coaching staff to truly evaluate where he's at and if he's ready. And like you said, if he's not, or if the O-line isn't, where it needs to be, you got Clifford. You got a 24-year-old starting quarterback who has a chance to break a lot of records in regards to games started, passing yardage, touchdowns. So you have that experience there. And then on the other hand, you got a 5-star phenom walking through the front door in a month here, or less than a month. So he's the headliner.
Do you think Clifford would be okay if after spring ball they're like, hey, we're going to go with either Aller or Ballou as a starter? Do you think Clifford's going to be cool with that, just taking a back seat to them, kind of like a Jalen Hurts situation?
I just think that had to have been what went into the conversation with him coming back. He knew. I mean, I mentioned Aller. You got a 2 QB class here coming in. You got Bo Pribula coming in as well, who doesn't come with the same accolades as Drew Aller, but draws a lot of comparisons to Trace McSorley. And funny enough, on signing day today, Penn State did a really good job with having more recent and current NFL players announce the signing day draft selection. So funny enough, Trace McSorley announced Bo Pribula.
That's sick.
But having Bo in that room too, like I said, obviously you have Aller, but Bo, he's nothing to shake off. He's going to come in there with a warrior mentality. He's a winner. Does a lot of things similar to Trace. So Clifford's going to have a competition in there. I think he's being able to teach these guys a lot of things. But I think coming back to a program with a QB room that's that crowded, I think that had to have been part of the conversation. Yeah, because he could have very easily went elsewhere and been a surefire starter, ride out his last victory lap somewhere else. But I think all the things that he's going to bring to that room, and very well knowing that there's a chance where he could be dethroned and overtaken by one of these freshmen.
Completely agree.
So next, I'm going to look at the running back spot. You got Nick Singleton from Governor Mifflin, 5'11", just shy of 200 pounds, elite talent. Draws a lot of comparisons. I think this was
him and Saunders were the only 2 recruits that I'm pretty familiar with, and Singleton from his highlight reel is just a monster, just an absolute beast.
2,000 yards during a senior season, 48 total touchdowns. He had a couple return touchdowns as well. Gatorade National Player of the Year. So comes with a ton of accolades from the state of Pennsylvania. So able to keep him home as well is a huge win for this program.
Harrisburg?
I think just outside of Reading.
Okay.
I think Governor Mifflin's in that Reading, central PA area.
Gotcha.
But to be able to keep him home, and as a matter of fact, for this class, 7 of the top 10 PA recruits are staying home and going to Penn State. So
that's sick. Gotta love that.
They always have that slogan, dominate the state, but they truly did it.
Yep.
This recruiting cycle, and there's a lot of top tier talent. So it's not like they just got the top 10 guys and they're not much. It's elite talent that's coming to Happy Valley, that's born and raised in PA.
Yeah.
But Singleton, he's going to be challenging for that top spot right when he walks in the door. You got Noah Kane, Kevon Lee, with all the struggles. I know we blame a lot of it on the O-line, but with that running back group, with no one really able to take charge of that room, Nick Singleton's coming in with a lot of talent, and it's going to be very, very difficult to keep him off the field that freshman year.
Yeah, and we still have to see if Noah Kane or Devin Ford come back next year. So
Right.
might be a little less crowded running back room where you can get more reps and more focus. Maybe split time with Kevon Lee.
Yeah, for sure. Moving to the wide receiver spots. So I know you mentioned him. Caden Saunders,
Love this kid.
from Westerville, Ohio. Born and raised right in Ohio State's backyard. So being able to get this kid, really Penn State was after him from the start. We were one of the first programs to approach him. 5'11", $175, speedster, has close to 4.3 speed.
Woo.
Franklin compared him today to a hybrid of KJ Hamler and Jahan Dotson. So that's a high bar to set.
Yeah.
But he's going to be another kid that's really knocking on the door his freshman year, ready to make an impact.
He could fit in the slot right away.
Yeah, with hopefully Parker Washington taking more of a bigger role, with Dotson headed out the door. You don't know what you have at that wide receiver spot. You got Malik Mega, who got some run time towards the end of this year. Hopefully he does in the bowl game as well. But really, you got Parker, you got Keandre Lambert-Smith, and then just like this year, that third spot's open.
Yeah.
So it's open for the taking.
So, I mean, those are all three phenomenal weapons on offense. Anything on the offensive line that we can celebrate about?
So they got some good talent. It's not going to be your 5-star, Evan Neal or Penei Sewell, that type of talent. You got Drew Shelton from Downingtown West, so another one of those top PA talent that's going to Happy Valley. Spent some time at D tackle during his high school career, but looking like he's going to make the switch over to O-line. 6'5", 290.
Okay.
So he's up there. And if you think about putting another year or put him through a year with this strength program to continue to bulk up, iron out his technique.
Yeah.
They feel really good about him. You got Malik McNeil, who's coming in, similar frame, but again, not top talent. So I would look to see that they would, or rather, I think they look to bring someone in through the portal.
Yeah.
To help fill some of those immediate needs. I don't think you're going to see any true freshmen make an immediate impact, at least out of this cycle. So I would look to the portal. You can go back to maybe Manny Diaz with his ties to Miami. I don't know if they maybe have some linemen that could potentially be a fit up here, but I think like they hit a home run on the D line from a portal standpoint last year. I think you look to do the same this year, but on the offensive side. Totally
agree. And we got some good reps out of Landon Tangwell. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
The freshman. He had some great reps at left tackle, so he's a name to definitely look forward to in the future of that offensive line as it gets more and more elite, hopefully.
For sure.
So what about the defense? I want to talk about the defensive line because I know linebackers and secondary are going to be just fine with the younger guys we got. So who on the D line has signed?
So D line, they were able to get Zane Durant from Lake Nona, Florida. Again, recruiting side, you're going to hear a lot of terms thrown out there. He's been called a generational talent. Believe he finished his senior year with close to 15 sacks and double-digit tackles for loss. So he's a top talent, and to get him to pluck him from Florida is huge.
Yeah.
6'1", 290. So again, already has really good size. So to be able to get him in that strength program, get him rolling with Mustafa looking to be out the door. Really, you got Devon Ellis, potentially Keziah Izzard, and then a lot of inexperience behind that. So
and 6'1", 290, it seemed like he could play edge and inside as well.
Yeah,
could be like a versatile piece.
Yeah, he could for sure be a hybrid. I think the real win from the D-line class this year was deny Dennis Sutton. Lot of recruiting sites calling him the top edge rusher in this class.
Wow.
Coming from McDonough High School, which Penn State has a pretty good pipeline built there. You got Mustafa, Devon Ellis, and Curtis Jacobs all filtering through McDonough. So that certainly helped a ton. But Deny 6'5", 250. So could probably use a little bit more bulking up, but he's very explosive coming off the edge.
Yeah, 6'5". That's
senior season
nice
was
thing.
cut short due to injury. But he's a top tier defensive edge rusher talent. That with what you're walking into next year, you're hoping Adisa Isaac comes back healthy. There was a lot of high hopes for him this year. Had the Achilles injury. So hopefully he's back in good shape. And then
so tough to come back from.
For sure. But you could see Deny testing there. Some other names to look out for. You had Ken Talley from the Philadelphia area. He's one of our more vocal recruits in this cycle on Twitter. He had double-digit sacks for the year. But he's another guy to look out for.
Where did he play ball in high school?
Want to say Ematep Charter, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Okay.
He's an inner city kid.
Gotcha.
But so defensive line, pretty solid job this cycle. I wouldn't be surprised again to see if they go out and get someone from the portal. I think Franklin's comments after signing day today, or after I concluded, he had mentioned that is still one of our needs. O-line, D-line, linebacker, still things that they're looking at.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, obviously these kids probably aren't going to see the field. Maybe some of them will, but definitely a good sign to see that we got some highly touted recruits coming in. I think I saw on ESPN Bottom Line that we were number 7 recruiting class, somewhere around there.
I've seen
right
ESPN.
up in Notre Dame.
Yeah, ESPN had us wrapped up at 7, and I think 24/7 Sports had us at 6. So anywhere in that 6-7 range. Still finalizing some composite rankings. But yeah, not a bad job at all. And a lot of these guys, chance them to be a program changing class. Nick Singleton, going back to him, he had some strong comments today saying, "Mark my words, we are going to win a Big Ten title and a national title."
Let's go.
Let's go,
Nicky Singleton.
And let's go, baby. I'm hyped.
Some bold words from the incoming freshman. I love it. So yeah, we got a lot to look forward to, especially Penn State's bowl game. Thank the Lord. Praise the Lord. We are not in the Pinstripe Bowl. We made it to the Outback Bowl.
Aussie Bloom big. Boomerang beer flights big. 6-layer chocolate cake and ultimate Great Barrier combo big.
I was thinking about every touchdown Arkansas scores, I'll eat a blooming onion, but I feel like that could be terrible for my health. I might still do it. I'm not sure yet. But the Outback Bowl, I mean, I'm ordering so much Outback for that game. It's not even going to be funny.
Oh, yeah.
So with the Big Ten betting bonanza wrapped up and in my corner, we're going to do a new kind of gambling strategy for bowl season. It's called the Bowl Draft. So all 41 bowl games are laid out there. Dave will have first pick of whatever bowl game he wants. After that bowl game's taken, it's off the board. I cannot take it. So I have to think of another bowl game to pick. We each get 5. One has to be a New Year's Day or New Year's Eve bowl. And then finally, the last 2, 6 and 7 pick is going to be the final 4 teams, spread picks. So you got your 5 ready?
I'm ready, baby.
I got my 5. I'm just praying to God that you don't take one of mine and I have to research another one. But let's go.
The same thing.
You got it first.
I'm going to kick us off with the first bowl game of the year, Luch. I'm taking us down to someplace warm, sunny. I'm going to the Bahamas Bowl.
That's this Friday. That'll be tomorrow if you're watching this when the YouTube video comes out.
Kicking us off, first bowl game of the year, tis the season. You got 7-5 Toledo against Middle Tennessee State. Finished the year 6-6, just squeaked into this one. I'm taking the Toledo Rockets -10.
Oh,
double-digit spread. Toledo played Notre Dame tough earlier in the year. They can put up points. They put up 40+ multiple times this season. You need to be able to score points in bowl games. and I am going with the Toledo Rockets from the MAC.
Thank God that's not one of my picks. But
I didn't think it would be.
While I was doing some research, I did look at Toledo, and I was like, might take that -10. But yeah, not confident in either of those teams. I'm gonna go with the last bowl before the national championship. This date really doesn't make sense. So all the semifinal games are on the 31st, correct?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or no, on the
New Year's Eve.
31st. This game is played January 4th. It's between LSU and Kansas State, and I'm going with LSU's +1. I'm just going to take them money line +105. It won't count as 3 points. It'll just be a 1-pointer. But LSU coming off Ed Orgeron's tenure, his last game, his farewell game, upset win over A&M. I think they lay it all out on the line for Big Ed. Also, Kansas State had their offensive coordinator fired after the season, and their head coach in a press conference basically said, I have no plans on hiring anybody before the bowl game. So they seem to be in shambles. Give me the Tigers. Money line +105.
One last time. Go Tigers.
Tigers, go 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 Tigers.
That's not on your list?
Nope.
Okay.
On my list.
There we go. Back to you.
All right. So for this one, I love these bowl names, man. Going with the Ticket Smarter Birmingham Bowl.
Oh, baby.
You know me, I'm residing in Houston, Texas. Got to ride with the hometown squad. You got number 20 Houston. Just came up short in the American Athletic Conference Championship game against Cincy. They decided, hey, we want someone from this conference to go to the playoffs, so they let them go. Taking on Auburn, who within the last week lost Bo Nix and Tank Bigsby to the transfer portal.
Yeah, out of control.
So no Tank Bigsby, no Bo Nix. Houston, strong season. Just came up short in the, like I said, in the conference championship game. I'm going to Houston -3. The disrespect for H-Town in this one.
Disrespect. I'm tailing that pick.
Go Cougars.
Tailing that pick for sure. It's not on my list, but it's going to be on my bet slip in Parks Sportsbook for sure. If you haven't signed up for Parks Sportsbook, now is the perfect time. It's bowl season. You can bet literally every single day from now until the new year, basically. If you want to sign up and get a free, risk-free $500 bet, use our code Whiteout on your sign up. I know a lot of you have already signed up, but if you still have and you're still hesitant, there's no reason not to during bowl season.
Just do it.
You can do it literally every single day. It's the best time of the year. It really is.
No contest.
So, again, that promo code is Whiteout when you sign up. Risk-free bet up to $500. All right. So for my second pick, I'm going to the Promised Land. Cue the Book of Mormon.
My favorite place, Orlando. I love you,
Orlando. The Citrus Bowl between Kentucky and Iowa. This is my final chance to say, fuck you, Iowa. I hate you. I'm going Kentucky -3. Kentucky has the 17th best run defense in all of college football. Everyone knows if Iowa can't run the ball, they can't do anything. So Iowa is about to get smacked. I'm going to do an alternate line of Kentucky -10. But for this contest sake, I'm doing Kentucky -3. My final jab at Iowa.
Fuck Iowa.
And that's, by the way, my New Year's day bowl pick.
I like it. All right. So I am going I'm going to take us to the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl.
You picked the most absurd bowl so far.
Some reason that one caught my eye.
I was not expecting any of these. Okay.
You got BYU versus UAB.
Yep.
UAB 8-4. BYU, somewhat of an up and down season, but a relatively strong season. Big win against Utah. I think they finished the year with a win over USC. You got BYU going with the Cougars again here, this time Brigham Young. BYU -7.
BYU -7. So it's a Cougar bowl season for you, huh?
Stifler's mom.
Hey, Benji.
Cougar bowl season.
All righty. So again, none have been taken so far. Glad about that. So from the Independence Bowl, ties perfectly into this. I'm going to defend the Alamo Bowl.
Oh,
between Oklahoma and Oregon. Oklahoma is -4.5. Spencer Rattler, transfer portal out of there. But that true freshman, Caleb Williams, is the real deal. I think he only played in like 8 games, if that. Threw for over 1,600 yards, 18 touchdowns, 4 picks, and an 85.4 QBR. I think he shows out in this one. Oregon, I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is going to suit up for it. I don't know if he's already announced that he's not going to, but doubt he plays. I think Oregon's going to get hit with some of those draft people who, opt out. And Caleb Williams is a freshman, so he can't go to the draft. So banking on him. Caleb Williams basically -4.5 over.
Also, Bob Stoops coaching the Sooners for one honorary game before the Brent Venables era takes over. But
oh, no way for that game.
Yeah, they're bringing Bobby Stoops back for one game. So
I'm gonna double up on that. -4.5. Let's go.
All right, back to me.
Yep, number 4.
All right, so you mentioned Spencer Rattler. So I'm going to the land of not one of my favorite condiments, but the Duke's Mayo Bowl, where you can find Spencer Rattler's new home, South Carolina Gamecocks, taking on neighboring state rival North Carolina Tar Heels.
Ooh, the Battle of Carolina.
Battle of Carolinas. And I'm going for our first outright money line dog. South Carolina. They're +7.5. I think they're amped up to get Spencer Rattler in the program. I think North Carolina, I don't know if they have announced. I could see Sam Howell potentially sitting out this one. He's potential one of the top QBs in this year's draft. I don't know if he wants to risk it in the Mayo Bowl. So I could see him sitting out.
Now that he said that out loud, there's no way he's playing.
I think
want to risk a professional career for
Sam
the
Howell,
Mayo Bowl, bro?
Picked in the 7th round from breaking his ankle in the Mayo Bowl. But South Carolina money line outright. Give it to me.
So that's +7. What's the money line? What is the number on that?
South Carolina right now, I had him at +7.5.
No, the money line. Like what you would get for money line payout.
I'd have to look that up. Let me see.
A little intermission. South Carolina is +260 on the money line.
Yep.
So that would be a +7 for you if they hit that.
Hell yeah.
I have it actually as +8.5. So that's
okay.
That's 100% a +7 for you. All right, my 4th pick, correct?
Yeah.
All right, gotta go. No rhyme or reason for this. It's just my favorite bowl of all time because my favorite snack of all time, the Cheez-It Bowl. I'm going with it's Clemson, Iowa State. I'm going with Clemson +1.5 because their colors are orange and Cheez-Its orange. I'm just kidding. I think Clemson actually has something improved towards the end of the season, especially in this bowl game. They've been written off as a crappy team, DJ U, whatever his last name is.
Uyangalele.
Yeah, Ugalele, whatever it is. Has been written off as scrub QB. Get out of here. You're not that great. I think this is Sweeney's last final attempt to show the nation that Clemson's not a big pile of shit and that they're actually still a contender and will be back with a force next year. So I'm going Clemson again, money line at +1.5. So that's again not a +3. It'll just be a 1 in the Cheez-It Bowl over Iowa State. And also, if you follow me on Twitter, I have a special prize to give away during the Cheez-It Bowl. So stay tuned for that.
I think you picking the Cheez-It Bowl was probably -800.
Oh, yeah. Of course it was going to be on my list. You kidding me?
Not available on the Park Sportsbook app, but I would bet on it if I could. All right, final pick.
Yeah,
I have no choice.
Pick?
I've left my New Year's Eve, New Year's Day bowl for last.
Yes. Penn State.
No.
Oh, wow.
Not touch it. I am going to the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl.
Wow. PlayStation. How has PlayStation been sponsoring the Fiesta Bowl?
I think it's been the last few years. It used to be Tostitos, which makes sense. But PlayStation Fiesta doesn't really make sense.
Doesn't make sense, but it's kind of sick.
But I guess if you are able to finally get a PS5, it's a party. So
yeah, for real.
So you got Oklahoma State, currently number 9, 11-2, strong season, pitted against number 5 Notre Dame, who just missed out on the playoff. I think Notre Dame's -2 in this one. I'm going to take the Fighting Irish -2. I think they're amped up to start playing for Marcus Freeman.
That video is sick.
Head coach, that video was pretty cool. And I think it's a big fuck you to Brian Kelly from that whole team. And I think they come out and win this one big. But I'll take them at -2.
I like that one too. I'm going to put that on my bet slip. And it was not a cool video. Brian Kelly pretending like he was born in Mississippi at that fucking press conference.
My family.
Yeah, come on, dude. Everyone knows that is not the way you talk. I need to find the name of this bowl. One second here. Oh, the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia. Pitt versus Michigan State. Now, I don't know. Kenny Pickett seems like the kind of guy who would play in this bowl game, just because he loves Pitt so much. He's dedicated to that program, leader. Like, I feel like he would just play in this game just because he's like, I'm playing football. You're not gonna just let me sit on the bench.
Right.
And if you look, this actually astounded me. If you look at passing yards allowed this season, Michigan State's last in all of college football. They give up more passing yards per game than Duke, New Mexico State, Hawaii, and Georgia Southern by a lot. They go up 337 passing yards a game, and Duke is second to them. They're 129. They give up 311, so almost 20 more yards per game than the second worst.
Insane.
So, I mean, this is just banking on Kenny Pickett being there. But then you look up a little bit from 130, last place, Michigan State. Number 106, good old Pittsburgh, giving up 257 in the air per game. So the over-under for this is 60. So I'm going over 60 in the Peach Bowl.
Should be good for the air raid, too. Dome game. I think they played the Falcon Stadium.
Yeah, and Mercedes.
Don't have to worry about that weather.
Yeah. Peach Bowl over. Love it. And your final pick before we get to the semifinal games. Oh, no, you did 5.
I did 5, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So why don't you start us out, semifinals? Let's start with Bama Cincy.
Bama Cincy, I think I had to line out
in
Was
the
it Bama?
in the Cotton Bowl in Arlington, Texas.
Arlington, Texas. I had it, Bama minus 13.5. So strong season for Cincy, making it to the playoff. I think that's a pretty cool thing. Obviously tough matchup pitted against Bama, who's clicking on all cylinders. Got Bryce Young winning the Heisman. Byron Mechie out, but still got Jameson Williams and a lot of weapons. I'm tempted to go. My heart says take Cincy plus 13.5. And I think I'm going to go that route. I'm going to take Cincy plus. I think Bama wins this game, but I think Cincy covers. I think Desmond Ridder, I think that kid's got a lot of fight in him. I like him a lot. I don't, because, I mean, if Cincy gets blown out of this game, I think that's going to say a lot for anyone in the group of five who ever tries to make another run at the college football playoff. Granted, provided that they don't expand it to 8 teams or to 12 teams or whatever. But as long as it's 4 teams, if Cincy goes in there and gets blown the fuck out, I don't know that you see another team get another opportunity. So I think Cincy hangs. I could see him losing by 10. I think 10 is probably the sweet spot, but I'm gonna take Cincy plus 13.5. But I think Bama wins this game.
I 100% agree with your logic on this game. So I'm gonna take Cincy first half plus 7. Okay. I think they're gonna pull out all their like trick plays, all the stops, everything up their sleeve in the first half to kind of keep it close, and then Saban's kind of gonna get a read on what they're doing, kind of get a read on what Desmond Ridder likes to do behind center, and second half will blow them out, I think. So yeah, I'm gonna go Cincy first half plus 7. So they're both on Cincy with the points.
Yeah.
All righty.
Yeah, that one pans out.
That could be awful for us. Never want to bet against Alabama. And then in the second, the Orange Bowl.
Orange Bowl. So we got
Miami
Bulldogs
to Michigan versus number 3 Georgia Bulldogs. Who you got?
So my game pick here, I'm going with the Bulldogs. I think the Dogs advance to get a rematch against Bama, which I know they desperately want. This game, it's a couple really strong defenses pitted up against each other. Georgia having the upper hand there, being one of the most dominant defenses of all time all year, except for the Bama game, the SEC championship. Michigan with the elite edge rushers. I think it's going to be interesting to see who Georgia goes with quarterback here. They've been riding Stetson Bennett, who got pummeled in the SEC championship. So I don't know if Kirby makes a switch here and throws in JT Daniels.
And yeah, Bennett just doesn't have the arm to make that offense any kind of threat downfield.
Yeah.
At all.
So I'm interested to see what that play is there. I think Georgia's -8. I think the over-under is 45. I think my play here would be the under 45. I think both teams are going to look to run the ball.
I was going to pick.
Georgia's a heavy run team, and Michigan has with Haskins and then Blake Corum, provided he's healthy. So that would be my pick, under 45, but I think the Dogs win this game.
All right. You forced my hand. I'm going over 45.
Oh!
You forced my hand.
You have me no choice.
There's nothing I can do. Over 45. I'm just picking this because you picked the under. I had it written down under 44.5.
Maybe they'll play JT and it'll be air raid attack between him and.
I'm just hoping for some long touchdown runs, possibly some overtime action. That'd be kind of cool if Alabama just blows out Cincy and we get the later game ends up being a sick triple overtime game where the over hits, for me personally. But I agree with you. I do think Georgia, that mentality that they want an Alabama rematch is going to fire them up so much that they're going to win this game against Michigan. Don't know if they're going to cover 8.5. It's kind of a lot for 2 defensive prominent teams. So I think they win. I think Alabama wins. So we both agree on that. Alabama, Georgia final. So if I pull up on here, they have projected odds for that game. And it is Georgia. This is on DraftKings, by the way, not Parks. This spread coming up. Georgia -2 over Alabama.
Damn, really?
Yep. I'll give you the first pick. If you want to take Alabama +2, go for it.
No, I'm gonna go dogs -2 here.
Damn it! I wanted the dogs. I was trying to freaking, what's it called? Psych you out and taking the freaking...
No, you're trying to set me up. No, I mean, something's got to give here, man. It's been 8, 9 in a row. I think that Bama's had over Georgia. I think them losing in the SEC championship game will benefit them.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to go against Saban and Bama because it's just when you think they're out or having a down year, and 11-1. I mean, we're calling that a down year for Bama, but I think Georgia's a team of destiny this year. I think that defense has to get a trophy in that trophy case. So I think Georgia comes away with the natty.
The old adage, defense wins championships. So that game's a while away. So we have time to differ on that. But the 7 bowl picks of the bowl draft are in. We didn't take any of each other's bowls, which was a breath of fresh air, thank God. We got our 7 picks up. You can see them on Twitter at Whiteout Weekly. We are going to be taking next week off. And then the week after that, we're going to preview the Outback Bowl. I'll probably have a bunch of Outback all around me eating while we do the preview. But we will also be making our picks on that game, of course, going over everything we usually do with a normal Penn State game, just with a little added breakdown because it's a bowl game and a New Year's Day bowl game, of all things. Who would have believed it at the end of the season? I would not have expected us to be in this bowl.
No.
But once again, thank you all for stopping by and listening to us, listening to our nonsense about Penn State football and gambling. We love you all. And we will see you in 2 weeks to talk about the legendary Outback Bowl.
Hope everyone has a healthy and safe holiday, especially if you're traveling like I will be. But like Luch said, thanks guys for tuning in. Love you guys.
That too. Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. Festive, man.